the official coming of the Son of God was in April 13, 2005.
From being the self-proclaimed appointed Son of God to becoming one of the most wanted men here in the country and in America.
Some 2,000 police officials stormed the KOJC compound last Saturday morning to serve arrest warrants to Quiboloy and 4 of his followers.
A standoff in Davao City between state forces and followers of fugitive televangelist Apollo Quiboloy. Hundreds of members of Quiboloy's Kingdom of Jesus Christ remain in their church's compound in Davao City, where police are searching for the preacher.
After a 2-week standoff with the police, the famous self-proclaimed Son of God with global followers of over 7 million and the founder of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, Apollo Quiboloy, has finally been apprehended.
Quiboloy and 4 other co-accused arrived in a police minibus around 45 minutes before his scheduled arraignment. Handcuffed and in an orange detainee shirt, the preacher was almost unrecognizable underneath a bulletproof helmet and vest.
As the saying goes, his sins have finally caught up with him.
Evangelist accused of human trafficking and sex assault, including in Hawaii, is in custody in the Philippines. The arrest of Apollo Quiboloy follows a 2-week standoff between law enforcement and hundreds of his followers.
The arrest of megachurch leader Apollo Quiboloy, who came close to being apprehended in Hawaii years ago, ended up being one of the most dramatic law enforcement dramas in the Philippines. Thousands of Philippine police and military were met with a human blockade of Quiboloy's supporters when they came to arrest him 2 weeks ago at the huge Kingdom of Christ compound in Davao. Quiboloy and several aides finally surrendered early yesterday.
So to his credit, he was still displaying a modicum of leadership to his followers. Again, I will stress it was a very, involved police action.
The cult members were ready to stake their lives to shield their cult leader from being apprehended.
President Bongbong Marcos said sect leader Apollo Quiboloy did not surrender to the government but was forced to surface because the Philippine National Police was getting closer to his hideout. In an interview with reporters on Monday, September 9, Marcos said Quiboloy would not have surfaced if the police didn't chase him hard. Marcos further noted that Quiboloy presented himself to authorities to stop his supporters who threatened to take their own lives for him.
Apollo Quiboloy made the list of the top 5 insane people who claimed to be Jesus Christ, and you can watch that vital video by clicking on the link in the description. In that video, we made you aware that the self-proclaimed Son of God was on the list of FBI most wanted for crimes he committed in the United States. According to FBI.gov, Apollo Korean Quiboloy is wanted for his alleged participation in a labor trafficking scheme that brought church members to the United States via fraudulently obtained visas and forced the members to solicit donations for a bogus charity, donations that actually were used to finance church operations and the lavish lifestyles of its leaders. Members who proved successful at soliciting for the church allegedly were forced to enter into sham marriages or obtain fraudulent student visas to continue soliciting in the United States year-round.
In 2018, Hawaii News Now was there when Quiboloy and his private jet were seized at the airport. On board was the head of his Hawaii operations, Felina Salinas, who was charged with trying to smuggle $300,000 in cash to the Philippines for Quiboloy. The charge was reduced, and Quiboloy went home.
I talked to the agents on my case, and they were extremely upset when they found out that Quiboloy's plane had been detained here and that he wasn't taken into custody.
The FBI raided church buildings in Los Angeles and indicted Quiboloy in 2021, along with Hawaii's Felina Salinas, who the FBI said played a key role in trafficking, controlling, and organizing sex partners for the pastor. The case has been waiting for Quiboloy's arrest, but it's not clear if the Philippines or the U.S. FBI will prosecute first.
The United States wants Apollo to be extradited to the U.S. to face the law, but the Philippine government may not honor that request, at least for now.
Now, the Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has said that his country is not looking to extradite the Filipino pastor Apollo. The country's Interior Ministry clarified that the first right to ensure justice against Quiboloy stood with the Philippines government.
Under our law, you need to serve your case in the Philippines first. If you have a case here, this is our sovereignty. This is our law. He is a Filipino citizen, so he should answer first to the Philippines, to all his sins, here to his fellow Filipinos, and then after that, you go by the laws of extradition.
It has been reported that Apollo Quiboloy took advantage of people as young as 12 years old. Many people are concerned that true justice will not be served if Apollo remains in the Philippines. This individual commented, "There is no justice here in the Philippines, especially that there is a lot of money, see Quiboloy. There have been many Senate hearings. Until now, there is still no justice for those who have been victimized by them. I really have no faith in justice here in our country." This individual, who, from what she wrote, appeared to be a victim, replied, "That's why what happened to me. I didn't report it because I knew it wasn't possible to have hostility." Please note that the original comments were in a foreign language. We used Google Translate. A few words may have been translated incorrectly. Here are the original comments for reference. There is a common theme with these cult leaders who claim to be God, or someone important, and that is isolation. They isolate their members from the rest of the world, which explains why they commit heinous crimes for many years without anyone knowing. They use threats and intimidation to keep their members silent and compliant. Just like Apollo Quiboloy, Siberian Jesus, Vissarion, was arrested on September 22, 2020 by Russian officials for extortion and emotional and physical abuse.
Сын Бога, он живое слово, потому что то, что он говорит, для меня там нет никаких противоречий.
In 1991, Vissarion claimed he had a spiritual encounter and started to call himself a reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Another reason why these cult leaders are successful at deceiving their followers is ignorance. Hosea 4 verse 6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." When people lack the knowledge of the Word of God, they fall prey to agents of Satan whose mission is to steal, kill, and destroy, according to John 10 verse 10. Here are a few things to know about Siberian Jesus. Russian Orthodox, Hinduism, Buddhism, collectivism, apocalypticism, and Marxism shaped his religious views. Vissarion wrote a 12-volume Last Testament, a continuation of the New Testament. He also believes in reincarnation and aliens.
My name's Alan John Miller, but I'm actually Jesus.
A.J. Miller is an Australian cult leader who claims to be Jesus. He is a former Jehovah's Witness and the founder of Divine Truth, a New Age spiritual movement based in Queensland, Australia. We've made a couple of videos warning you about him. His influence spans across several countries, including the United States.
He is an ordinary Australian making an extraordinary claim. A.J. Miller says he's Jesus Christ. We first found him spruiking his message in Australia, but now this self-proclaimed Son of God has taken his mission to the world. Denham Hitchcock caught up with A.J. deep in the heart of Texas.
Here are a few lies, fake prophecies, and diabolical doctrines A.J. Miller promotes. He claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus of Nazareth. He predicted devastating earthquakes and catastrophic tsunami in Australia that were supposed to happen around 2012. He falsely claimed a new continent would rise up next to Hawaii and countries would disappear off the face of the earth.
Reincarnei, renasci Noé, Abraão, Moisés, Davi, etc. Depois Jesus e agora Henry. Henry é o meu novo nome. Henry é o nome que eu paguei com meu sangue na cruz. E-N-R-I. Henry, o nome que Pilatos escreveu acima de minha cabeça.
Meet the real Jesus Christ, a man who speaks to God directly.
The Brazilian and Kenyan Jesus are two other cult leaders who claim to be Jesus. The vast majority of you would cringe that people even listen to these obvious fake Jesus. However, the sad reality is that millions of people out there believe them and follow them, and many are exploited spiritually, physically, financially, and emotionally. We urge you to share this video with others and on different social media platforms. You just never know who God might save through this video from becoming victims of satanic and evil cult leaders. Please help us spread biblical truth. Subscribe, like, and share. God bless you.